Hey, fine people, thanks for checking out my video. Appreciates it. If you likes what you sees, please hit the like and subscribe button. Welcome, journey, entering. Let's go.
Time is one of the most beautiful things in the world. We can never, I feel like no one could ever fully understand time. But the only thing that we do know is that time is the only thing you'll never get back in your life. It's the only resource you can't get more of. And so time is one of those things that I've really become aware of. And I really encourage people to understand, do an evaluation of how do you spend your time on a day-to-day basis, right?
Right.
I bet you anyone who's listening to this or anyone who watches this, if they were to look at their screen time on their phone, they would have exponentially more time using their phone than they think they do on a given day. I
Right.
thought I barely used my phone. I was using social media for 2.5 hours a day. And I was like,
Right.
oh my gosh, 2.5 hours a day. Do you realize how much that time you can get back if you were to cut that by 10 minutes a day? Just
Right.
10 minutes a day. I mean, I'll give you the math. 10
That
minutes a
book that you
day.
don't have time to read, right? That 10
Oh
minutes of
my
the book that you
gosh.
don't have time to read, there it is right there.
Well, right. Let's literally do it, right? 10 minutes a day, 6 days a week. Give yourself Sunday to do whatever you want to do. That's an extra hour a week. That's 50 hours a week. We know on average it takes about 5 hours to consume a book. That's an extra 10 books a year that you're doing just by lowering your social media and take
Yeah.
10 minutes a day or by waking up 10 minutes earlier.
You take an 80-year-old guy that's got $5 billion and you tell him, if you give up every cent of money you have, would you give up every cent of money you have right now to go back to when you were 20? I guarantee you 100 out of 100 people will say not. They won't even think about it, right? And if that doesn't show you how time is money, I don't know what does. Because at the end of the day, you only have this one life to live. And again, it ties to what we started the conversation with, which is what is success to you? And if you're just chasing the wrong things and you get to the end and you've got all this money, but you haven't developed good relationships, you're in shitty physics, crappy physical health, and you haven't given back, and you have this feeling in your soul, I know that I've just taken, and your legacy is going to be that he took more than he gave. It's not going to be this person was a good person and contributed to the world. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to feel good, and you're going to want to do over.
Yeah, and you look at, what are the people's biggest regrets? It's not going after the things they want. It's waiting too long to tell someone you love them. It's all of the things that
Right.
regrets happen by not utilizing the time in the present moment, because the fear of rejection stops you from taking that action. And that fear is valid. That fear is real. But here's the thing, we all have that fear, right? We
Right.
all face it. It's just a matter of what do you do when that fear happens? Do you use that to create action or do you use that to create inaction?
That's
Right?
exactly right. Yeah.
And if you use it to create inaction, that'll turn into a regret. And if you use it to take action, it'll turn into the greatest potential experience of your life or a learning moment. Hence why you win or you learn, but you don't quit, right? You don't lose, right?